What I realized from reading Tolstoy for 42 consecutive days. Religion is a funny thing. So many of them claim to know what they are talking about, and when you decide that they might actually be onto something and begin to look into them a little deeper for some evidence or facts, they often can only present the rational mind with a haphazard mess of hypocritical contradictions. Still, contradictions aside, after reading Mr. Tolstoy, I am now on a quest to extract the good essence from said mess. The decent and common uniting themes of religion, i.e. basically trying to be a good person to others as well as yourself in your lifetime. However, for a religion to appeal to a rational mind in 2025, there is a great deal of work to do. Tolstoy talks of religion morphing and growing to suit the times, and I am fully in agreement with him there. I have recently finished reading the Holy Bible cover to cover. At its best, there was some deep wisdom to be found, and at its worst, there was some real evil perpetrated by the hypocritical actions of the holy. Now, Tolstoy's morphology of religion, like many of the religious, would lead him to label himself the true faith. How he got there was not dissimilar to many others, mainly by cherry-picking the good bits of the Bible that he liked and running with them. To be fair, he did give away nearly all his worldly possessions, as Jesus advises in the New Testament, which is much more than the majority of contemporary Christians can boast of today. Still, that cherry-picking of Tolstoy's was well intended, and I think his view of religion is by far the closest to my own. And apart from being perhaps a touch too pacifist for my taste, I think one should stand up and fight, but only in defence of peace. I found myself agreeing with almost everything he said. The one problem for me is that after all this, he is still a Christian, albeit a Christian anarchist, but still a Christian. For me, if one labels themselves as an adherent to any religious text that claims to be the word of God, then they should adhere to all of it in full fashion, i.e. taking the rough with the smooth, reading it cover to cover and believing in it fully and following that path wholeheartedly, not just the bits you like or agree with. After all, it is the word of God, no? The problem is, as Tolstoy was well aware, is that following the path of absolute faith from the texts as they are is often very dangerous, and in worst case leads to horrendous crimes of terrorism which defy common sense and any shred of human decency and dignity. So is there a solution? Well, much like Tolstoy, I think what religion needs is to separate the wheat from the chaff, so to speak, the good from the bad, and the good bits need a new name. If you are seeking to devote your life to something good, then it must be wholly and rationally good, not something that is built on the sand of hypocrisy, contradictions, and outdated attitudes that the faiths of today provide. Well, if you are a person with such intent, the good news is that Mr. Tolstoy has inspired me to write my own religion, a refinement of goodness without the moral misgivings of the ancient world involved. I want peace, I want love, and I want goodness to wash over this world, inspiring minds as it does so to greater acts of humanity. And that is possible with belief in God with the extra O, i.e. the good that exists within and without. I want the belief basis to be rational so as to appeal to atheist and agnostic as well as believer. I want to create some good in this world, and I am currently doing so. I am writing a book of ideas not laced with the threats of hell and damnation, but one with clear and concise moral advice on how to think clearly about what is right and wrong in any given situation. A book that as a young man I wish I had been able to read to guide my thoughts in a more positive fashion. It is called Nebism, and it will be ready in 2025. For now, if you're interested, you can read my prayer, that's Focus of Intent for all you atheists out there, on the front of a coffee cup at the link below. So I guess in the end, Mr. Tolstoy made me realize religion, albeit my own rational one. See you tomorrow as we begin exploring the great mind of Mr. Young to see what he has to say about it all. Cheers.